I'm very pleased to be able to speak today with Chartsiri, the President and CEO of the largest bank in Thailand, Bangkok Bank. In order to understand the developments taking place in Thailand, let us talk to Chartsiri and ask him first how is business regards to the performance of his own bank in the last quarter, and what is the business outlook for the year to come. Chartsiri?
Our business outlook for this year would be expect to be flat or might have some slight decline because of the loan demand has been quite minimal, and especially when compared to last year when the commodity prices were high. As a consequence, the working capital requirements were also high. As a result, then it's also a natural process that we would see some decline in the loan outstanding this year.
What about specific aspects of your business? Which industries are doing well, and how are the small business and consumer segments in Thailand doing today?
Yes, the bank covered the full banking units, the corporate banking, the commercial banking, which cover the small or the medium-sized customer, the small business banking, and then the consumer banking. That the one that we have focused on quite closely would be on the small business because of the economic slowdown. The impact upon them can have some consequence because of their financial position not as strong as the larger companies. But so far it has been reasonable, even though we might see some sign of an upward delay payment for some of these smaller customers.
In terms of your NPL, obviously it's been on the rise, but how's that compared to the average NPL in Thailand?
I think so far we have been reasonable, and overall in general in Thailand this time compared to the last decade, business people have been much more focused in their business areas and have been more cautious. In the last 4 or 5 years, they also have made reasonable level of profits, hence enhancing their financial position. Also because of our own internal situation, there also hasn't been much price escalation, which also has been quite helpful.
If there's been a shift in terms of the kind of businesses that you're taking on the books, are you making any shifts on the funding structure of your business?
So far, because of the policy that we have maintained, which we have maintained a reasonable level of the loan-to-deposit ratio, which has been over the last few years at around some 80 to 85% level, even though there may be some movement up and down. As a consequence, then we haven't been constrained by the liquidity situation, so we would be able to choose and do the business that we would like to do. And of course, this has been possible because of our branch network that has been quite useful in the deposit mobilization process.
In terms of raising capital, a number of banks in the region and in several emerging markets have been going to market to shore up capital, but also in specific instances to take on opportunities like M&A. So are you planning to go to market?
At the moment we have no plan. I think our capital position currently should be able to withstand the upcoming situation, and that we will be able to move on with our business activities. How
does the rest of the world read Thailand and what's going on in Thailand today? How's that affecting your business?
Certainly, Thailand, as part of the global system, has been affected by the slowdown in the export sector, and that has shown in the decline in the GDP in the fourth quarter of last year and the first quarter of this year of some around some 5%, and then expected that the overall growth rate this year might be about some -3 to 4%. Our export has been in decline on a year-on-year basis about some 30% in the first quarter of this year. So certainly we have been affected, but I think within that one we might also need to look into two components. Many of the businesses involved in the export side has been more related to the global industries, and the players of which have been more of the multinationals.
Right.
So the impact on the local economy per se might not be as high as the figures might appear. For example, in other areas like the food-related industry, they have been performing reasonably well and withstand the economic slowdown quite well. But we have to admit that we do have some impact on some of the unemployment.
Right.
But we hope that as the stabilization takes place, this would also be able to put the situation more under control.
In terms of foreign exchange earnings in Thailand, because of the drop in tourism arrivals, has that affected your business?
I think we look at from two perspectives. The financial position of the country per se, I think that has been quite strong. The trade balance and the current balance has been in surplus. I think even though there has been a decline, significant decline in the export, but so does the import, especially on the energy component, and that has been quite positive.
Both sides of the balance sheet have been going from down.
But certainly we have also suffered from the decline in the tourism, both from the global influence as well as our own internal situation.
Right.
So we have to get that one up, and we hope that maybe that would turn around in the second half of this year.
A number of Asian countries, especially the newly industrializing countries like Thailand, depend a lot on export to the multinational sectors, as you mentioned just now. Do you see a decoupling of that relationship or a shift towards other forms of engines of growth, other emerging countries like China, or do you see that the formula is still very much the same as in the 1990s?
I think this is a very important question and a major challenge for Thailand as well as many other Asian economies to work out what the new model would be for the next decade. I feel that the regional cooperation and which eventually probably lead to greater integration within Asia will be quite a critical process to support each other. At the same time, also the necessity of stimulating the domestic demand to make up for the export sector of the pattern that we get accustomed to over the last 30-40 years, which have been driven from the requirement from the Western world.
Right. Are you confident about stimulating domestic demand? Is there a upside potential in Thailand?
Yes, I think this is also quite a difficult issue, even though there may be some room, but it might not be as easy. On the other hand, the investment on the infrastructure projects can offer some potential there, but that would also take some time to get implemented.
Why hasn't there been more consolidation among Thai banks?
I think consolidation has always taken place because either the industry has gone through difficulty or because of the excessive competition in the market. I think Thailand is probably no different from what has taken place in other places, so eventually that would come one form or the other. Actually, there has been quite a degree of consolidation taking place already over the last decade.
Right.
You could see the reduced number of players in the market with greater size increase, and also that also bring higher level of quality of competition, which is beneficial to the consumers and the end users.
But in recent times, has there been any pressure from the regulators, from the regulatory side of the...
I think the regulators use the market mechanism